This program is sponsored by Shenanigan Sports Pub.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim-flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I am, as you can see, just a bundle of cheer today. Welcome to Mike Mayo's Lunchbox on a Tuesday, September 13th. For those of you who have triskaidekaphobia, the fear of the number 13, yeah, I have fear of it today. I'm very grumpy because basically Yom Kippur has come early for me. My day of atonement and fasting before my medical procedure, also known as colonoscopy, is tomorrow. Means I'm on a liquid diet today, gentlemen. And you know what happens when the gambling gourmet is not allowed to consume food? He gets a little bit hangry. So how are you today, Defo and Lubie?
I couldn't be better. Feeling pretty good. It means that this next hour could get ugly, is what you're saying. Here and
could get. It already is.
It's one thing if you're grumpy. It's another thing if you're denied food, and then of course you have to look forward to. I think though, and this comes under your heading as the gourmet food critic that you are. Has the stuff that you take not gotten at least a little bit more tolerable? That prep goop that you have to drink a little bit more flavorful and tolerable than it was, say, 10 years ago.
Apparently it has, and I am no rookie when it comes to colonoscopies because of the nature of my being. I had my first one before the recommended guideline, which is, most people 50 and over are urged to get a colonoscopy once every 5 years. And this is my public service announcement for the day. You really should do that because colon cancer is known as the silent killer, and it's one of the ones that's most easily curable if it's detected early. So that is why the colonoscopy can really be a lifesaver, and it's not that unpleasant. I've done two of them. My first one when I was age, I got to do the math here, but
I think when they cut the umbilical cord was your first one. They knew you were going to be a hypochondriac, old, geezer type Jew from the beginning of your medical.
No, the first one I had was when I was 46 because I had a bout of something called diverticulitis. Which,
that's understandable.
It's a condition that afflicts, I think, 1 in every 4 people at some point of their lives. And again, it's been associated with like nuts or seeds or popcorn where things kind of get caught in your diverticulitis. Isn't this pleasant lunch hour conversation, by the way?
You always begin with the medical procedures, diarrhea.
My mother always said I should have been a doctor, and here we go. I'm talking all about the medical. Well, to answer your question, Defo, yes, the prep has gotten easier. This is the first time I'm doing the new prep because it used to be you'd have to mix in this Metamucil and all not Metamucil, the stuff that it's basically. You would have to put in this whole package of powder, the Duralex or Duro, whatever it's
milk
called.
of magnesia,
and you would have to drink a full gallon and mix it into either certain colors of Gatorade. It couldn't be red; it had to be like I don't know which ones, orange or water. And you'd have to consume a full 128 ounces of water along with this glop, and it was just such a chore to get the stuff down. Now they have this new this medicine. It's called Clean Pick, and you get a prescription. It's these 2 little 8-ounce bottles, and you take 1 8-ounce bottle tonight at 4 p.m. And then after that, you just have to drink like 4 glasses of water. So instead of a full gallon, it's basically just a quart of water, which is manageable. That's tolerable with the little 8-ounce thing. And then the fireworks begin, and keep your New York Post handy. And then I have to do that
several days worth on hand. I would recommend because you're going to be hitting the can frequently.
And for all those who are trying to consume their lunches now, my apologies, but this is again public service announcement. Once every 5 years, after you hit the age of 50, if you have health insurance, they will cover this as a preventative measure. And again, you have to go in. Usually, I'm going tomorrow to the outpatient wing of a local hospital. You get put under not general anesthesia. They call it, what do they call it? Like mild sedation. It's basically you're asleep, but not really asleep. It's semi-conscious. They call it conscious
You
sedation.
don't feel anything.
It's
You don't feel
it's
anything.
really
Yeah, I've
wonderful.
never experienced that. They knock me out when I
Oh
do this
no,
thing.
okay. Well, again, it's under the care of
It's
a
Michael Jackson time,
anesthesiologist.
and I mean, I want all
Well,
the Profanol I can
you're
possibly
kind of
stand.
semi-aware, but not of all the unpleasantness, and then you kind of wake up and then it's over, and then you feel like light on your feet and
That's
very,
great.
very clean inside. I do like that feeling. Again, the second bottle has to be consumed tomorrow morning for me at 4:30 in the morning, and
Oh,
then
Jesus.
there's more fireworks. And but that's the new prep. It's not a full. It's a little bit, I think, easier, but we'll find out. And yeah, so now you know all about the
You'll make it, yeah.
wonderful workings and the
Shouldn't you
innards.
have like a meatball parm sub or something from a pizza spot
I can't have that. This is why
to
we
just
couldn't
trigger
go.
this whole thing and get it going?
No, I could have a whole plate of Skyline chili. You get yourself a good, big, large
That
order
would
of
substitute for
throwaway
the prep
with the glove. Yeah,
stuff.
prep.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to have any solid food in your system starting a little more than 24 hours out of the procedure. So here I am. I've had coffee and water today. Later today, I'll
And you've
be.
compared colonoscopy prep to Skyline chili, which is one of your favorite junk food, options.
And yeah, and then later today I'll be feasting on chicken broth, chicken consomme. I am allowed to consume
Oh, there you
as
go.
long as it's clear.
All
So
right, we're
no,
not
it's,
feeling too sorry for you. You're in good health. Well, let's hope it turns out okay.
Yeah, it should
and
be
you're going to
fine.
be all right. It kind of makes for an odd day here on the Lunchbox since we're used to you, although you've stopped doing this, and I think it's to the detriment of the show.
I get it.
You have stopped
So-
shoveling food in your face during the course of the program. And I think that was the only reason that people tuned in. They didn't care about the information. I mean, there's so many things on Let's Eat South Florida that we've discussed here on the program. I actually saw sort of an interesting one where, I mean, I like the threads where you get a lot of suggestions for
Oh,
good
yeah.
places to go.
Oh, that's what the group is all about. When you're actually talking about good food finds and where can I get good Mexican food? Or
So somebody
where's
said
the
they were
best-
looking for hidden gems and local favorites in Fort Lauderdale, and the post got about 250 responses. And
That's
I'm
always
looking and I'm
good.
thinking, geez, I wouldn't mind running like half of these joints by Mike Mayo and see if he's been there or see what he thinks. But that's kind of the value, I think, of Let's Eat South Florida, because you wouldn't know about these places, and it's a nice exchange of information as opposed to, I think the one you wanted to get into was this 6% surcharge for takeout.
Oh, but it seems like the ones that get the posts on the Let's Eat group that get the highest engagement, really get people in a tizzy,
Fetch it.
is when people are let's fetch South
Yeah.
Florida. Let's complain about surcharges and tipping and automatic gratuities and being asked to tip at a fast casual. All these things that people seem to love to just complain about. Who am I to stand in the way of people being grumpy? So that's but to your thing, I do love when they ask for, where do I find the best? Hidden gem is always an amusing term to me, because half of the places that get mentioned were reviewed by me at the Sun Sentinel when I was a critic. So how hidden can a place be if it's
They'll
already
put like
been-
Tropical Acres in there. But it's been there in the same location for 72 years with a giant sign on US 1.
huge
Tropical
buildings.
Acres this way. Not exactly a hidden gem. I mean, it might qualify as a gem, but I understand that.
So,
Hidden gem to me would be like hole in a wall. I mean, the
Yes.
same kind of
And
equipment.
I did a post about one such place over the weekend on Sunday.
Oh, good.
This place in Wilton Manors that
Yes.
I went to with Norm Kent, Burgers and Beers on Wilton Drive.
Have they
Little
been
kind of
slammed
hole in
ever
the wall
since?
place.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't talked to Joe yet. Joe from Ohio. But again, that to me is the quintessential hidden gem, because it's just a single. A shop that's operated by one guy with one grill and a flat top and just a couple of chairs in there. And, if he had a lunch rush of like 20 or 30 people, he would have to bang out all those burgers, and there wouldn't be room for everybody to sit in the joint. You'd have to take it out and have a picnic somewhere up and down the Wilton Drive at one of the parks there. But that's the kind of place I love. That, again, a little, sometimes it's a mom and pop shop. And sometimes it's just a place that you would never even think to go in. Like my buddy's place, Tropics, not the one in Wilton Manor, but the Caribbean Lounge that my poker buddy Sean always goes to celebrate his victories, and on Pines Boulevard. And we were trying to get there with Nicky Mohan, and it just didn't work out with the Visit Lauderdale people. But it's a place that's been there for over 25 years. It looks like just a lounge bar nightclub, but they have some of the great Caribbean and Guyanese food, which has a big Chinese influence. They do these like grilled spiced wings or lamb chops over this bed of like fried rice, and it's just like outstanding, and it's reasonable. It's like 13 or 14 bucks for like you get this beautiful half chicken on top of it. That to me is like one of these hidden gems, a place that you might drive by like every day, for 20 years without even thinking of going in, and then when somebody who knows about it drags you in there, you say, oh wow, why didn't I come in here sooner? So
That
all
was
those kind of places
the
like
fish
that.
shack, the old fish shack for me, which was, I mean, in such a location that you would never ever think to even look for a restaurant back there. And it was in this little strip mall, and the place was so tiny. And what was weird was, you would see people waiting outside, schwitzing in like massive heat late in the afternoon, and you're thinking, this place must really be something if these people are enduring this. Then you walk inside to be like Zach Thomas at one of the 4 or 5 tables they had, but they've since moved kind of across the street and have much more room. It's still not a large place, but that was the ultimate definition in the old location of a hidden gem.
Yep.
Hole in the
Yep.
wall place that you would never think to walk in under any circumstances that turned out to be just a
And
brilliant
I think like
restaurant.
Arun's in the kitchen, where Luby and Shirley ate over the weekend, that great little Indian joint, hole in the wall on Sample Road in Coral Springs. That qualifies as a hidden gem because it's just so unobtrusive, and you would never really know about it unless you paid attention to all these high rankings. And I gave it a great review in the Sun Sentinel back in those days. And but again, it's places like this are all over town. And I didn't see that thread. Was it a recent thread? I guess it just got
Yeah,
put
it's
up.
one of the I mean, it's right under the 6% guy that's complaining about the
Oh, okay.
takeout
Yeah, maybe it
surcharge.
just got approved there. But good for him.
A lot of
I mean,
responses, yeah, and they named a few places. I was
go
curious.
ahead, run
Yeah,
through
yeah, I'm
some of
going to run
them.
a
See
couple of
if
these by
yeah,
you here, Mike.
yeah.
May see if you have any familiarity with the.
Oh wait, Sarni's
Uh,
giving us an update on the Queen. The Queen is still dead. Okay,
there
I
you go.
know this is
I love
riveting.
Have you analyzed her last meal yet? Did any information on that get released?
I think they should do a colonoscopy,
exactly.
posthumous
No, they need to bury
colonoscopy on
this
the
woman once
Queen.
and for all. Just bury this
I
woman.
think they should. I
Get
think
it
they
over
should
with.
bury her corgis with her, and I'll get the animal rights people instead of giving
Don't
them
get
to
into
Prince
that
Andrew.
direction. All right, coconuts. That's a commonplace, is it not? Coconuts.
Yeah,
I'm
one of the
thinking.
first women I dated in South Florida was a waitress slash bartender at the Coconuts, and that was back in the day when it's still owned by the original owners. Now it's owned by Elliot Wolf and the Be Nice Restaurant Group. They do a really good job, place on the Intracoastal. That good blend of touristy and locals, and they have good food and good product, and they
All
take
right.
pride in what they do.
Riverside Market. Yeah, have you been in the Riverside Market?
Yeah, that's the place that owned by Julian Siegel. It started off as like the first kind of craft beer hall where they didn't brew their own beer, but they brought in like bottles, like 600 different beers from around the country and world, where you open your beer and then they have a kitchen with some burgers and pizza. It's right across from our friends at the Pizza Spot. And that's original Riverside Market. Very hard to find. And also like Pizza Spot, easy
Qualifies
to
as out of
love.
the way. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that'd be
That's it.
good. A burger stop. Have you heard of the burger stop?
Yes, there's 2 locations. There's one in the original one is in Coconut Creek, and they opened one in Fort Lauderdale, right next to the Gateway Cinema there on Sunrise Boulevard. I went there with my daughter a couple of weeks ago,
And
and that was the place where they did those smash burgers on a pretzel bun. I don't know if I really got into it on the show. They have all these kind of big shakes. They do boozy shakes, I think, for grown-ups, and also regular milkshakes. The shakes that I had was good. The burger, I didn't love my burger there. And again, because I let my daughter order and we split this smash burger, and the smash burgers, by definition, get grilled to medium well, which is I don't like it like that. I like my burgers mooing and bloody and juicy. So and you can get the bigger, thicker burgers there. And talking about burgers, National Cheeseburger Day is coming up this Sunday, and we're going to be celebrating a day late, but not a burger short at our friends at Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. Next Monday, we're going to be out there. Come on out. It's in that, I guess, the shops, Harbor Shops, just south on Cordova Road, south of 17th Street in Fort Lauderdale. And our friend Seth Burger Beast Gonzalez is going to be joining us that day to talk all about the burgers and enjoy some food there at Gilbert's with
Are you a fan
Lenore.
of Jack's burgers? I've been craving a Jack's hamburger lately.
We've been
It's
talking
been a
about
long
them
time,
before.
a long time since I've been in there.
Yeah,
I think they're very good. You don't like them, huh? I think they do a good
well,
job.
again, they're more of the griddle style that's cooked to medium well. I
You
don't
can't
think
get
they'll
it the
cook.
way you want. I think you could ask for it rare.
Can you? I don't know if they'll still do it
No?
rare, medium rare anymore. I'm not sure. I haven't
They
been
do a
in there
good
in a
job
long
with the
time.
grilled onions. That's a real key for me in any burger
There's
joint.
there's two locations of that one. There's one on Cypress Road in Pompano, and then I
Yeah.
think the original is on Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale.
Still there, both of them.
Yeah, both of them. So
They do a good job. All right, that's burgers. Kababi Cafe. Does that ring a bell? Kababi Cafe.
yes, very good Persian.
Sounds like
they call-
kebabs, yeah.
Well, a Persian cuisine, Iran, they don't like to be, I guess, billing it as Iranian food, but it's Persian cuisine and it is Iran. And there's some very, I gave that a positive review when I was a critic. And it's Kababi Cafe by Kuluk. I don't know who Kuluk is. I don't know if he's the chef. The owner is an interesting dude. I think he was a athlete or musician, and then he started this restaurant of some very good food, very good different kinds of spices. Was it called Berube? Berube is one of the spices that they use in the rice, and they use I forget. It's some of the fruits that they use. It's kind of they blend in the sweet savory stuff. Some really good chicken dishes and sumac. They use a lot of sumac as the spice that they use in Persian cuisine. I do highly recommend Kababi Cafe.
All right.
And it's on
Taco
University
Love.
Drive. University
Taco Love
Drive.
and Davy.
Taco
Yeah.
Love and Davy. I have
Does
never
that
been
ring a
to.
bell? Taco
I've
Love.
never been. So you finally stumped me.
I'm not trying to stump you. I figured you would know a lot of these places, and
do. I
it
think
was kind of interesting to me because there were a dozen places I never didn't have any familiarity with. Gigi's, does that ring a bell? Gigi's.
Is that on
Gigi's another?
the Gigi's in Hollywood? Is that the Gigi's?
Hollywood,
This is
yeah. Gigi's in
Yeah,
Hollywood.
Gigi's
Good
on the
job.
waterfront. There is Hollywood, and that's okay. I wouldn't call
All
it
right.
a hidden gem. It's a big restaurant right on the Intracoastal. Kind of
You
more
did great,
fancy.
Mike. See, you know your stuff, Mike Mayo. That's the beauty of this.
Yeah, when it comes to food,
Once you wrestled away from your medical concerns, you really know the subject matter that we're dealing with here on this program. All right. So now, what was your opinion about the guy that was belly aching about the 6%?
well, first of all, I hate
surcharge?
when people come on all sanctimonious, like, why was my earlier post blocked? Because apparently the guy put in a similar post into the queue. What people don't realize is that we have certain filters on there that automatically deny certain posts if it adheres or fails to adhere to certain protocol. And one of the things is some people make attachments or put attachments on posts that they don't realize isn't seen by everybody because the setting on the attachment is set to just the person's friends or something like that. So if something is submitted to Let's Eat that has this page can't be seen because it's set to private, we have an automatic function that just kicks it out and denies it. So this guy did that, and he got his whole panties in a twist. No, that's not a PC expression. Well, he just got all upset. I'm turning into Defo. This is what happens. So he just got all upset, like, oh, how could you deny the earlier post? And what's with the 6% takeout surcharge fee at what was it, Jay Alexander's restaurant?
Yes.
And so I approved the second post that adhered to our standards, and I just said, first of all, here's why your first post got denied, Mr. Weisenheimer. I mean, these people have the sense of
You get
entitlement.
upset when the people, are
Well,
on the attack.
you tried doing this
You really
day
do,
and night, and you basically we field about 1,200 to 1,300 posts a month,
Wow.
and now we're getting spammed with all these porn ones, and I'm just sick of seeing the same porn. I don't know who's doing that. It's like Russian
That was me.
bots.
I've been a member since you had a measly 6,000, so I feel entitled.
So these are the things that go
Yeah.
on behind the scenes. And poor Gretchen, the other admin from the Sun Sentinel, I mean, bombarded with just these horrific images of bestiality and things like that. And there's no way to stop it. We've reported it to Facebook. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The actual posts that come in from the members that are legitimate, and again, some people just don't follow the rules. They don't put the city where the restaurant is. Very basic things. And I get, yes, some days I tend to get particularly grumpy, especially when I'm not eating. So this guy ticked me off today. And
how did you feel about the principle of it, though? The 6%
oh, so his
check?
overall complaint. So as I mentioned to him in the first post, okay, so he's upset because some of these places now, and I don't know if I've heard about it at Flanagan's, and I know that my mom, when we get her turkey dinner, that some of these places, they now charge 75 cents for a takeout fee because they have to package it up in the containers and with the utensils. And these things, again, it used to be included and built into the cost. Now restaurants are feeling a pinch, so they have these add-on fees. And again, my response
and there
is,
was a problem too with people just. I don't know if it's still in existence like it was, but remember I told you I went to a place that has great deals for lunch. By the way, it's a sort of out of the way, not really out of the way, but more of a hole in the wall place. Brennan's is a sports bar. They have really good bargains on food and excellent food and really cheap, especially around lunchtime. Extremely reasonable. One of the best lunch deals I've seen anywhere for that kind of quality. But one of my friends there that works there, Mike, he said that it's almost impossible to get this stuff now. Or it was
Yeah.
this was about a
Supply
month and a
chain
half
issues,
ago
yeah.
that the supply chain was dried up to the point where it's almost impossible to get the to-go containers. So now I haven't necessarily seen that be a problem since, in other places they seem to be well stocked, but I mean, are they entitled to pass this cost along? And then how do you present that? I guess that would be the thing.
well,
Because
in the
if
case
you're
of J.
running off the menu,
Alexander's,
yeah, you're thinking, unless I knew that up front, I could see where it would set a guy back a little bit, no?
no, it's very simple. And I put it this way, like, this is their policy now. Maybe you're surprised the first time you see it, and nobody
Yeah.
likes surprises. It should be easily and well communicated, both in signage and also when you place the order, say, hey, by the way, we're putting on a surcharge now. And then you give the customer the option, like, oh, no, I refuse to pay. It's like when you go to the ATM machine that's not with your bank and they say, oh, this ATM carries a $6.95 surcharge besides your
You've been
additional
grabbing a
bank
lot of
fees.
money at casinos.
I was gonna say that's something about a strip club. And
$6.95 is the going rate at
Yeah.
casinos.
Yeah.
$3.95 at convenience
Anywhere else,
stores. But it tells you, and then you have the option to decline and not get your money, which nobody does because they need the 100, right? So
Sure.
but again, you're presented with the option. Now this guy, he gets hit with the 6%, and he comes on and he complains about it. You know what? I told him there's about 16,000 restaurants in South Florida. If a restaurant or chain has a policy that you don't like, you know what? Go out and find a restaurant that conforms to whatever your ideal of what a restaurant should be doing is. And then that's it. I'm sick of all these. Oh man, I'm in a mood today.
You are
Well,
getting
But
particularly
I should
angry.
agree with you. Look, here's my thing.
What did you go to, a Trump rally last night? What's going on with you? You're fired up. Yeah.
I'd say
That's my
twice.
thing with like a Yelp. Like I never got that because I complain a lot when it comes to places, but I never understood going out and conveying it to the world. Because again, I also realize there's so much more that goes into a restaurant producing food for me to eat than I know. So for me to try and ruin the reputation before I know what the server was going through, what the chef was going through, what the distributor is going through, what the hiring processes are, like there's a reason every restaurant is hiring for 7 jobs right now. Like, so to me, for me to go and land-based and before I know all that's not fair. So I'll complain, go home, get over it. If I go back, I go back. If I don't, I don't. I never understood these people that actually hold the bitterness to the point where they go and yell it to the world. It's like, how you're not bitter about
It's
the restaurant,
petty.
it's about your life. And that's not the restaurant's fault that you don't like your life.
But it makes them feel better. And then I don't know. It's just but if it wasn't for people like that, Let's Eat wouldn't have 88,000 people. But most people on there are, people like Defo said, they're looking for a good hole in the wall. They want to find where a good slice of
The
pizza
information's
is.
good. I mean, if you
Right.
see the majority of people love a place and you start thinking, yeah, I passed by there a million times, now you see encouraging reasons to go in there and actually try it. I'll give you an example of one at La Perla of Pompano.
Oh, I love those people.
Right? I've passed by there.
You
I
should
can't
go in
tell
there.
you a trillion times. I always look at, and there's no parking in the front there, so it looks like it's empty. And I'm thinking, and it's next to like a store that you would think no one would ever go in, which is like some card trading store. And it's in an area where there's not much else right there on that block. Never got in there, and because I've read nothing but rave reviews on Let's Eat South Florida, I have it in mind that my next time that I
You
go
should
out for that type of dinner, I'm going to La Perla. I'm going to give it a
you
try.
should go check it out because I know the couple that runs it, Manuela and Lino. Manuela is Italian and she's the chef and she makes her, fresh house-made pasta. They used to own and operate a restaurant in Hollywood called Il Posto. That was excellent. And I gave it a very favorable review in the Sun Sentinel. And they ended up selling that restaurant. There was some issues there with the parking lot and the next door neighbors and all that stuff. And they ended up opening La Perla de Pompano. And I've been in there a couple times. It's not again, because it's not as close to me. I don't get up there, but they're a wonderful couple. Great hospitality, great food. Aren't you impressed, Defo, that you mentioned a place and I know like everything?
No, this is
about
what
it?
I love about you.
I would
That's
love
why
it.
we have to steer you in these directions sometimes
Right.
on the show, because we would have had every
now
detail about the interior composition of your rear end. And in the meantime, you've reviewed like 20 places. I think it's
Yeah, and
fantastic.
they do this octopus appetizer. It's so tender. It's not
I'm
the
not a
full
big octopus
tentacle.
fan, but
No, and it's not like the full
Right.
tentacle. They do these
yeah.
thin slices with, on top of a nice little bed of field greens and a really nice dish. And the problem when you get me in this direction, Defo, is
Yeah.
now I am getting so freaking hungry because all I can do is look at my chicken broth container that I'm going to
It's a
be
tough day to do
feasting
the
on.
show, no doubt about it.
Yeah, but I'm a gamer and I'll keep going forward. And you know what? I'm going to talk about my friends Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. I dropped by last night and I had myself a
Oh
little
yeah, nice.
cocktail and bite at the bar for a happy hour.
You
And
love
let me tell you,
that bar thing on the happy hour.
oh, it's
Tropical
such a
Acres.
good
You
deal.
really
And
do. Yeah.
I got in there like at 4:45, a little bit early, and it was packed in the bar. It seems like people just go flocking there because it's such a good deal. I mean, so many good deals at Tropical Acres, and you could find it at 2500 Griffin Road, just west of I-95 in the airport in Dania Beach, Old Fort Lauderdale. Go to tropicalacres.com to check out the latest deals and specials. But it's a South Florida institution that's been going strong since 1949. That's older than Defo. It's a great place for steaks, seafood, and so much more. They have the Twin Lobsters special going on now, Monday through Friday, for a few more weeks. That's 2 main lobsters for just $35, including side dish and salad. And again, they have things like the happy hour in the bar where I had a half-price Belvedere martini and I got a little thing of sliders and I was stuffed and it was great for like $20. You can't beat that kind of deal where you get premium liquor. Tonight is still half-price wine night. You can't beat that, where Mondays and Tuesday, every bottle of wine is half price. And also, you also have the early bird special, 4:30 to 5:30. Go into Tropical Acres. The butcher shop is open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for all those great cuts of steaks you can cook at home. And also, you got the loyalty card that you get for every 12 punches. You get your 13th entree for free. Tropical Acres, I love it. Defo loves it. I think Lubie loves it too.
Adore it.
Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, Mark is asking where is Brennan's located. It's on Federal Highway on the east side, and it is just south of Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. And as I said, the lunch deals there are excellent, and the food is really, really good. They've done an outstanding job there. And we will be back with more on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. I like that you're swigging the water now, and you're really cleaning up your act. It's fantastic. And it was great. That was a tremendous demonstration. You would think I fed you those as a setup. And I really just opened up the Let's Eat South Florida to see what was going on here.
We have no pre-production here. He just throws out these, names
That was great,
and places, and that's it. Yeah.
Like 100 holes in the wall, and you knew them all, which is
It's
phenomenal. All right, back with more on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. And for the Let's Eat South Florida people, quit fetching, and back with more in a moment.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. Then there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. From our friends at Visit Lauderdale and Lauder Deals, don't miss Dine Out Lauderdale during August and September in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Dozens of top restaurants are offering amazing 3 and 4 course meals starting at just $35. See all the Dine Out Lauderdale menus from more than 50 participating restaurants online at visitlauderdale.com/deals. More taste sensations are being added daily, so plan your culinary adventure to Greater Fort Lauderdale and get your taste of the good life for less. Dig in now at visitlauderdale.com/deals. And we're back on the Lunchbox on a Tuesday. And, I see that there's 130 comments on that thing about the 6% surcharge for the takeout. I know that people are up in arms because they're constantly being asked to tip, even at some places that they didn't have to, not full
Let me ask
service.
you, what is your idea? Both of you, you guys are older and you're a lot more classy than I am. My wife has got me to do this, even though I was raised to never do this, of tipping on pickup. Because to me, you tip for the service, right? If I'm going to pick up food, I got in my car, I drove. You're paid to do the work. I'm doing the picking up. But my wife has got me this habit. Oh, you have to tip even on a pickup. What is wrong with you? So I've
You
got
think that
tipping, right?
you think the food just jumped in a bag by itself there, Lubie?
I mean,
No, and this is
how they get a tip. Like, I mean, so what are they paid for then? Because I did work at a place where I answered phones and bagged food. No one tipped me. So like, I don't understand. And even when I was a delivery driver, I got tipped garbage tips, and my car was ruined. I was getting oil changes every other week because of how much miles I put on, and my tips sucked. So like,
Did you
I'm
have a
all-
Chevy Vega? Was that when you were
I had
driving?
a Jeep. I had a Jeep. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
Pinto. It was a Ford
So, like,
Pinto.
what I'm saying is, like, I understand tipping. I always tip 20% or above, no matter what the service is. But on pickups, I do it, but it pains me to do it. Like, I'm curious what you guys do when you pick up. Do you tip, and how do you tip?
I always leave something. I don't know. Is there an equation there, Mike Mayo? You would
Any
be
percentage?
Well,
more
I mean,
aware of this. Is there a percentage equation? I mean, I'll throw a 5 in there if I'm getting a lot of stuff. Sometimes I only leave a couple of bucks, but I always leave something.
when it's a pickup, like if it's a takeout joint like Arun's or your local Chinese place, I mean, their business is basically doing that, putting together things and doing the takeout thing. You might throw a buck or two into the till after you get some change.
Threw $2 in
But
the
it's
till at
yeah,
Dave's Kitchen
Yeah,
last
I'll
night,
throw
picking
yeah.
up chicken
But
fried rice.
it's not like a 20% thing. But there are certain restaurants when, especially during the pandemic, things changed, and servers who were normally serving and waiting on tables all of a sudden were just spending most of their days and work days putting and bagging takeout orders for either pickup or sometimes for the delivery apps. And the delivery apps, that's unfortunate, they didn't get anything except for their hourly salary, and some of them were still on tipped wages, which is lower than the minimum wage for regular workers. So that's where you kind of feel for them. And if you're going in and even if you're not doing the full sit down, full service experience, some places of them are regular and it's more of a fancier dinner place and they're putting together a takeout dinner for me. I'll give him the 20%. The rule of thumb I've heard
You're
from
throwing
restaurant
20% in on a takeout order? Wow,
sometimes. It depends on the
that's very
place.
generous. Yeah.
Well, it depends how many, how much of a regular I am. how much money I've won at the racetrack or poker
Yeah,
tables that
exactly.
night across
So,
the
so you
street.
get a $15 order from a Chinese restaurant. You're throwing a 10 in the jar.
$10.
That's very generous. Yeah.
Not in the jar, but again, you throw it on the credit card slip and it's painless because it doesn't exist. It's just
Until the bill comes.
ink
Yeah.
on it. Yeah, until the bill comes. But who pays those? Come on.
Bring my wife with Amazon.
But the
Credit
the
card
bottom
debt?
line.
I think that's the next show. If we still had the old WWNN, there'd be a way to get out of the credit card debt coming
Yeah,
up.
first rack
At 1
up a lot
o'clock,
of
yeah.
credit card debt, then just don't pay the bills. Don't answer the phone, and that's it. So, the things like I'm trying to think now.
You said the rule of thumb. Like,
The rule of thumb, especially at these fast casual places where you're doing the order and you basically have to pick up the food and bring it to your own table, 10% is okay.
Yeah.
What I really like is places, and we're going to one of them on Monday, where they don't ask you or want any kind of tip when it's basically a the fast, whatever they call it, fast casual. Gilbert's Burgers is like this, where they don't hit you with the screen when you're paying
really?
to add on a tip. They just hit you for what you have to pay. And they have people that are working there that they pay, I guess, a decent wage that come and clear the tables after you're done. I always leave a few bucks or a $5 bill at the end of it because they don't hit you and ask you for it. Same thing, a place called Avlo Eats in Plantation that have also built in all the worker costs into the price of the food. So there is no obligation or expectation of tipping, and they don't hit you with the screens that are programmed to 20% when you're just picking up a takeout or schlepping your own food to the tables. I like restaurants like that. It feels more guest friendly, and as long as they're paying the staff enough that they have a staff that's working there, that's great. But yeah, I don't like where you kind of, even when you go to some of these, I don't even know, not Dunkin' Donuts, but you see.
You
tip
didn't
jars
throw
when
an extra buck there on a coffee when you got a
Oh,
Dunkin'
I do.
Donuts?
I do. Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
do.
do?
Definitely.
And
What
that's
about
the funny
buffet
thing.
service? I mean, what's your philosophy on that? Where you have two people, you ate at the buffet. Now, most of the time, I'm at buffets that they're comped because it's a casino situation. But so I'm always, usually a little
supposed
bit
to
more
tip.
generous on that.
Yeah, it's extra money.
I always leave something, but I don't know if you're paid. Let's say you had two buffet breakfasts for $25 a piece. What are you leaving on the table there, even though you went up there and got the stuff yourself?
You do
And the
20%?
person that was serving is going to clean the table maybe, and might have brought you a couple of drinks, a cup of coffee, and orange juice. What's your standard on that? Same 20%?
15%.
15. Okay.
15%.
Why do
Look,
you shave the 5? Just because it's less service?
Go off
Or?
work.
it's not as much. They're not putting in an order or getting the order right. But
Yeah.
I tell you what, there is an exception that I mentioned it earlier this week. The Sunday brunch deluxe buffet at the Curro at the Hard Rock Casino.
Oh yeah, which is like $150.
High quality stuff. No, $110 plus tax and tip per person, and it includes all the alcohol and all these like crazy good stuff. The Alaskan king crab legs and piles of shrimp and sushi and tenderloin
Lubie
of
would break
beef.
them on the king
Oh,
crab
no.
legs alone. Yeah,
It's
He would
great.
break.
But
They'd be out of business. They'd be putting a sign out of business at the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
Literally.
But the thing is, even though you're going up to the different stations and grabbing your own food, the service there was impeccable because you have a server who is coming around and they're clearing the plates. They're giving you refills and repours on the alcoholic beverages. And there's also some add-ons that they bring from the kitchen, like if you want the caviar plate, or there's a couple of other like a bisque, a lobster. I don't know. There was a lot of service involved, and there was very attentive service. And even though you were doing some of your own work because it's a buffet, that place got the full. They actually got a little more than 20% when I was there because it was very, very good service, and they were on us like hawks. It's not like they disappeared. Some of these places that offer complimentary alcohol, or not complimentary, but built into the price. You have to wave them down and light
You need
your
a subpoena
arm
to
on
find
fire.
your server.
Right.
Yeah,
You're lucky to get one drink every 45
you
minutes.
get Lindsey Graham coming
This
out with an
place,
apron on. Yeah.
They were coming around with the champagne and doing the toppers and doing all this like very good. So they deserve the full service tip amount there at the Curro. I'm a big fan
All
of
right.
that.
It varies a little bit.
Yeah,
depending
but
on
if
how
you're
much
at your
you-
local schlocky Shoney's or Chinese buffet or whatever, not necessarily getting the best in service. If they fill your water glass 2 times, you're lucky, and then all right, you give them the 10-15%.
Very nice. All right. So
That
you
makes
solved that problem for this guy.
yeah, that makes
Nasdaq
He
is
shouldn't
down
worry about the
500.
6%, and then
Uh-oh.
and Lubie. I think you always have to leave something there at the counter,
I know.
even if they screwed up
Is
your
the
order. I
stock
mean,
market tanking today? Oh, it's
you
tanking
have to
today.
throw something in there.
Why is the
You're worried
stock
about your
market tanking?
investments in the middle of the
No,
show?
no. Andy just said that it's down. The S&P or Nasdaq is down 500 today. What did somebody do something? Is there or
There was some report coming out on status of inflation, which probably was
oh
not favorable.
oh that's not good. All right,
Yeah.
well that's it. There goes the rest of my IRA.
Yeah.
All right, well here we are. Let's.
Yeah.
I can't even drown myself in liquid solitude.
You should go out
today.
to Shenanigans and get some of those grilled
Well,
wings
there
or
you
something.
go. Well, I can't do that till tomorrow.
Or maybe the lot of deals thing. You know what? If we lose this bet on the weight loss, we'll have to take advantage of the lauder deals situation. Maybe
We're gonna-
we go. I was going to take you to the fish shack because you've never been there, Lighthouse Point, which is great. And I really would be surprised if you ended up making a face at the end.
I would
of
enjoy
meal.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I want to go to the fish shack. You know where I haven't been in a long
But the
time?
Cafe Max thing for $45 has been calling my name since you mentioned it on the lot of deals.
It's again, we love the people, the fine folks at Visit Lauderdale, and Dine Out Lauderdale is ongoing through the whole month of September. Don't miss out on your chance to dine and find some of Greater Fort Lauderdale's best restaurants, some of the high-end places that maybe you wouldn't ordinarily set foot in. You're a little intimidated, maybe a little bit snooty or nicer or upscale, but this is the chance where you can go out and sample, and they're welcoming you. They're putting together these menus where you get 3 and 4 course meals starting at just $35. Some of them are $45. Defo mentioned Cafe Max. That's a perennial. Some new places on there like Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton Manors, run by a lovely couple. One of my favorite new restaurants in town. They're on the Visit Lauderdale, Dine Out Lauderdale deals going on. Also, a place near me, the Toro Latin Kitchen at the new Meridian Hotel next to the Fort Lauderdale Airport. Also on there is near Lubie is the Cook and the Cork is a good place. I see that Steak 954, one of those really nice beachside restaurants, Steak 954. You always get a good meal there. That's at the W Hotel on Fort Lauderdale Beach. They're taking part. So go online to visitlauderdale.com/deals and check out all the ways that you can save on this ultra luxury dining. More than 50 participating restaurants. Again, visit lauderdale.com/deals to check out all the great Dine Out Lauderdale options just waiting for you. So start planning your culinary adventure to Greater Fort Lauderdale now and get your taste of the good life for less.
Fantastic program. I mean, gives you a shot to try a lot of really, really good places at almost, no money whatsoever by the usual standards. So we definitely have to take advantage of it. I'm glad that thing's still ongoing. All right, more to come on the Lunchbox. Mike Mayo starving himself on the show today, which is highly unusual. What a departure from the usual protocol in his program to have you, drinking water and, getting ready for what's going to end up being a 24-hour fast.
Yeah, and I'm damned if I do, because every time I stuff my face on the air, you shame me and say how
it is grotesque.
unprofessional I am.
It is. Yeah, it's kind
But
of,
then you're saying it's kind of the
but it's a staple of the show.
right. It's the meat and potatoes of the show.
It's kind of like one of the Stooges getting hit in the face with a pie. I mean, it's something that people are eventually expecting to see. That
Yes.
We'll get back into that.
Lubie should have been the guinea pig on this. If you knew Lubie like 10 years ago,
that's on him.
Yeah.
Now.
But
now,
you really
how do I look?
that.
Do I look a little bit thinner? Am I looking like?
We're not worried about you making the weight. I think you're going to make the weight. I really do believe that.
I'm intrigued because I had a really kind of off the rails weekend. I did a lot of what I would consider overeating and not the healthiest eating.
Addition
I
by
did not weigh
subtraction,
myself.
I think you hit it on the head because you stopped eating like 1,000 sandwiches.
Yep.
Think about the amount of bread that you consumed in the month of August.
I have been burning the calories. Today, I did not take a walk. I was busy this morning, and I figured if I took like a 3 or 4 mile walk in this heat and don't get to eat, you would really see hangry Mayo.
A couple of Coors Lights, I think, are allowable right after the walk. I would go for that. less calories, a little more like water, and I think you can get away with it. They'll still see what's there. I mean, if they are going to find a couple of polyps, they'll find them whether you had a couple of beers or not. I believe that. All right, coming back with more. Mike Mayo, a healthy Mike Mayo. We're getting Mayo well, which is part of the mission here.
Yes.
You guys from Let's Eat South Florida, look, without this guy, nothing's happening there. The Facebook
I'm
page
intrigued
has
to
2 little
see-
pictures on it and probably gets hacked. And that would be it.
Before I go to the hospital tomorrow morning, and after I do my second prep drink, I am intrigued to see what my weight will be on the scale. The official.
That's the best
scale.
time to weigh yourself after not
Yeah.
eating for 24 hours and cleansing your entire.
Can you imagine the contents of that are going to come pouring out? All those 51 sandwiches, and the
We were having
pasta
frequent
cheeseburger.
bowel movements during that
I
period of
presume
time.
they're gone.
Otherwise, get
Wow.
a subscription to the Post. That's what you need. All right, we're coming back with more on that note in a moment here on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox.
You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. And we are back on the Lunchbox on a Tuesday, and just slogging through the week. Slogging being the operative word. Going to be a lot of liquid sloshing around my belly.
How do you break
today.
the fast, though? I mean,
I was thinking about this.
What's the first meal coming out of the shoot?
Oh, that's yeah.
Well, first of all, I got
for
to.
you. I mean, you wouldn't have to plan this.
I'm gonna have
No?
to, make it out of the hospital and then hightail it to do the show tomorrow.
Why
we'll
can't
see what
okay,
kind of.
when are you allowed to eat immediately after, or is it like a dental?
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. Once you're kind of, get over the anesthesia.
Well, how are we not for tomorrow? Like, how do we
Huh?
not do a show around that event?
Well,
My
I mean, the
family
thing
might
is, what I think I might do, but it's the timing is a little tricky. I might have my buddy Scott do another delivery from Pizza Spot, because I'm thinking, like, I haven't had a proper pizza, just a full on pizza from the Pizza Spot in a few weeks now, because they were had a little bit of a vacation hiatus, and I think I hear that. Oh yes, I hear the bacon and hot cherry peppers. They're chirping. They're chirping
Perfect
in my
on
ear.
an empty
Why
stomach.
can't we meet?
Yes.
I'm going to meet you there. I think.
I don't know if I'm going to be in a condition. I might just fall over and like Jimmy Kimmel on the Emmys last night, and
People says you'll be
you
fine.
might and
He was like-
you might
What
just have
happened? He
to.
collapsed on the Emmy Awards. I
He
didn't
did.
watch
He
him.
pulled a bit where he kind of like pretended, because he was upset about his show losing for the 12th consecutive year.
Yeah.
That he apparently like that the bit was that he was off in the back and getting drunk, and then he collapsed on stage and passed out. But he carried it to the extreme where they awarded an award, and the woman, he didn't move, and she came up and stepped over him and then was giving his speech, and he still didn't move. And some people thought it was distracting and took away from her moment. And now it's turned into a whole big controversy, and people are so easily offended.
Don't
these
try to
days.
be
People,
funny anymore, Michael. Don't try to
no,
be funny.
and, it's like a bit.
People
He's
go
pulling
nuts.
a bit. He
Yeah.
didn't slap anybody silly, so like give him
Yeah,
credit for
that's a win.
that. But they were like, I guess
Who was
the
the soap
winner.
opera star that always was, the bridesmaid in the Emmys?
Susan
She was
Lucci.
on there. Susan Lucci, yeah.
Susan Lucci, yes.
So he's become the
22.
modern day Susan Lucci.
Susan Lucci, and at least he's poking fun of itself. Look, I didn't watch the Emmys. I didn't even realize it was on last night. They used to have these award shows on Sunday night, but now they're getting trounced by football, so they don't even bother. And half the shows aren't even on TV anymore. They're on these streaming services, and so I don't even know what one. I guess I don't even care, and that's not good. I'm not even culturally aware.
Home dogs were the key last night. Never mind the Emmys. Home dogs. Seattle had no chance whatsoever to beat Russell Wilson on his return to Seattle. They gave this guy $250 million. And here are the Seahawks with Geno Smith, best known for getting socked by a teammate and breaking his jaw in the locker room. And they end up winning the ball game outright. So, there's something to try and figure out. I mean, the just impossible, things that happen in the National Football League.
Not to veer into the gambling and sports talk, but, we were talking about the angle of like there was so many home underdogs this week.
They came out well.
What was the ultimate tally?
6-3 against the spread and many straight-up winners.
It was like
impossible.
home dogs. Like,
yeah.
Bears shouldn't have won. Texans shouldn't have won. Lions shouldn't have won. Like a lot of the Vikings shouldn't have been in it, and they dominated that game.
They did. That's why they played the game
against Philadelphia. Everybody's.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers was still taking an ayahuasca trip, and no, last night I love Seattle because Seattle's a tough stadium to go in and win. And
have you been there? You must have been there at some point. No?
Yeah, very loud. But for some reason, the home dogs on Thursday night isn't a good angle, but home dogs on Monday night has been one of the biggest tried and true angles throughout sporting history. So I did like Seattle last night. I thought Russell Wilson was.
There's no way that anybody could have liked Seattle. There's just no way. I mean,
I did. I have them circled on my sheet. I can prove it.
Horrible. They were supposed to be horrible this year. They have no quarterback.
They're
starting Geno Smith. Their defense is, one that should be shredded on a weekly basis. And they end up winning. I mean, that's the beauty of it. But you had to do the home dog thing from the very first game, from the Thursday night game with the Rams, and do it all season long to profit from the common thing.
Well, actually, if you skip the Thursday night, you would have been one to the good because that was
right. But you can't do that. I mean, if you're going to go with one of these theories where you have to do the thing all season,
you got to be consistent.
It's like you have to do it all season.
If you're going to bet the the Ortez brothers up in New York, one of my favorite angles is just always use the two of them in exacta boxes, and sometimes they come in, and
it's
you
like
got to do it for every race.
The Kenyans in marathons.
Oh yeah, well,
if you could bet exactas, I mean,
the superfectus.
There you go. Right, you could take the first 5 guys, and they're all from the same place.
Speaking of sports and great places to watch sports and get great food, I want to put in a good word for our friends at Shenanigans.
Great
Pat Utter and company. Yeah. I spent a little time there over the weekend. I see somebody in the comment string was talking about, I guess, the black cherry. I guess they have a black cherry wings at the Shenanigans. Again, I'm not a big fan of all the fruity wings, but I am a fan of all their wings because it's done so well. And we spent some time there last week. You enjoyed those black and grilled wings.
Those are great.
They have the fish sandwiches, the ribs, the barbecue smokers going. They have pizzas there too. They have such a big menu. Everything you could want to watch all your great favorite sporting teams and sports events. 2 locations, the original at TY Park, right across the street, Sheridan Street and Park Road, and Dania, that's my local, 1300 South Federal Highway. Pat Utter and crew just celebrated their 30th anniversary. They're doing something right, 30 years in business. And they are open late night, both locations. If you are working late or picking up somebody from the airport, scoot on in there and get yourself a great burger or sandwich. Post midnight, watch the West Coast games for baseball. Again, I love Shenanigans. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
Those blackened wings, grilled blackened wings, fantastic. And they hold up well. I mean, I had one remaining yesterday from our visit there.
I did too. I had the last one.
As well.
Great. How do you prepare it? I threw it in the microwave.
Toaster oven. Toaster
Air
oven.
I did it in the microwave for 20 seconds. All right, it gets a little soggy, but it was
Yeah.
warm
fryer.
and hot,
Air
and it was
fryer's
good. But
Air fryer on the toast,
air fryer.
system there.
I don't have the
That's it.
patience. I just, I guess, yeah, I wanted 20 seconds. The air fryer.
Couple of
What are you gonna
minutes.
do?
It's worth
2
it, yeah.
minutes.
They're 2
Crisp.
minutes.
You maintain the crispness, which is good.
Yes.
So,
Comes out, I mean, almost a lot like you were served it. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. Really good stuff.
excellent.
Yeah.
So, well, that's gonna do it for today.
Good luck with your venture today, Michael.
luck,
I'm
sir.
proud of
Good
you.
luck.
Yeah.
Today, tonight, and tomorrow. And by the time you see me tomorrow, I will have been through my
If you end up
latest
having like
procedure.
a giant, patty melt or something, do you call the doctor and just blow off the procedure?
No, I'm not going to do
No,
that.
not
I'm
going
going through it, and then hopefully I'll get a pizza delivered tomorrow in the middle of the show, and I will devour
Oh,
it.
beautiful. That would
after
be
the
appropriate.
Final weigh-in. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in. Mike, Lubie Lubitz, Jeff Defo DeForest. I'm Mike Hangry Mayo. Remember to enjoy every sandwich, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We're anxious to try it.